Hello and welcome to the Factly Digest. This is the 20th edition of this series of lives that we do from our studio in the Factly office. I'm Parvati Mohan and I lead the audio visual production efforts here at Factly. And for those of you joining us for the very first time, the Factly Digest is a kind of update on our work front. We have many teams working across the company, and every one of these editions we have representatives from two such teams who come and talk about all the kind of work that they've done, and this is often very interesting and applicable to your own lives, as you will see through the course of this edition itself. And quick note before we head into all of this: memberships are live on our channel, so do consider joining. It's a small but significant way for you to show your support for the kind of work that we do. And do drop your questions for us during the course of this live in the live chat, and if not, through comments, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Okay, that said, let's quickly head into the update for the day. We'll begin with the fact check team, where, as you can guess, a lot of work has been happening over the past 2 weeks. Joining me, Sushmita. Hi, Sushmita.
Hi, Bharati.
So, yeah, I think it's safe to assume that stories about the Ram temple in Ayodhya, that was consecrated, of course, on Monday, must have dominated your team's workload over the past 2 weeks. So, tell us what kind of stories you debunked in this space.
Yeah, like you said, the issue of Ayodhya Ram Mandir has definitely overwhelmed our team's workload. So, as the issue has been the source of controversy from for several decades, so this is not the first time we are coming across the all kinds of misinformation and disinformation around this issue. But with the announcement of inaugural of the Ram Mandir, so there is a huge, like, the spike is massive. The spread of fake news is definitely massive. So to make it easier to understand, we categorized this topic into different categories. So it's like, so the it's political, sensationalism and fraudulent. So when you look at the political perspective, so the fake news was spread majorly around the construction of the Ram Mandir. So, for example, there's a claim that temple is constructed 3 kilometers away from the disputed Babri Masjid site.
Right.
But when we, when we, with our research and when we compared the map site maps and all, with the help of the location coordinates and the landscapes, it is pretty clear that it's being constructed in the same disputed site.
Right.
So apart from these, the fake news were involved the political personalities as well, both Indian and international. So one such example was, it was claimed that President of India, Murmu, was not invited for the inaugural, but she was actually invited. Uh, Many mainstream media reports were out there. So likewise, there's a claim that Britain declared holiday on the occasion of Ram Mandir inauguration again, but there are no such reports that actually declared holiday.
Right.
So apart from this, fake news around the government decisions were also in trend. So one such example is that an image of 500 rupee note depicting Lord Ram's face in
Yeah.
place of Mahatma Gandhi's
Hmm.
was circulated, saying that RBI issued this note to commemorate the consecration of Ayodhya Ram Mandir.
Right.
But no such thing was actually done by the RBI.
Yeah.
So, the second segment, when we talk about the sensationalization, so this thing majorly involved the old videos and images, which are obviously unrelated, and also the digitally morphed images and videos. So, for instance, digitally edited image of Burj Khalifa, was shared as if the image of Lord Ram was displayed on the whole building.
Right.
So yeah, that was massively shared again. And another video that was, you know, shared widely was the old video of group of vultures from an unknown location.
Yeah.
So it was shared as a flock of Jatayu was
Mm.
arriving
Mm.
to had arrived to Ayodhya,
Mm.
ahead of Ram Mandir
Right.
inauguration. So yeah, yeah, apart from this there is also news which are fraudulent. So when you talk about fraudulent news, it was majorly the websites
Mm.
that were attracting people. So many websites had attempted to deceive people, deceive public with fake websites, saying that they would offer Ram Mandir's prasadam.
Yeah.
So some of them had impersonated the official logos of the Ram
Mm.
Janmabhoomi Trust, and some of them actually said that they don't belong to the trust, but they are doing it out of their personal interest.
Mm.
However, Delhi High Court banned one such website called Khadya Organic,
Yeah.
saying that it is misleading customers and also exploiting the goodwill of khadi and village industries, the commission.
Yes.
So another major fraudulent news that we came across was the recharge scheme, so
Mm.
mobile recharge scheme. So it was claimed that PM Modi and or Yogi Adityanath was actually offering mobile recharge for certain amount for certain number of days on the occasion of Ram Mandir inauguration. So that being said, I would like to mention that the mainstream media also sharing all this news, that like some of the news that I had just mentioned,
Mm.
and also people putting these things into the ongoing context makes it very difficult for people to demarcate. Uh, it makes them it's very difficult for them to demarcate between what is true and what is false.
Yeah.
So in such case, like we mention in every session, to verify and share. So yeah, I think it is very important. I would like to mention it again, to verify and share, and when in doubt they can always text to our WhatsApp tip line number.
Yeah. Yeah, very important that you mentioned the need to verify everything before sending, because of course Ram Mandir has been dominating, no doubt, but apart from that, there's still, over the past 2 weeks there was also the spillover from the previous fortnight of the Lakshadweep Maldives story, and we know that these things can have consequences in terms of diplomatic relations, as we have actually been seeing with the
Correct.
Lakshadweep Maldives issue. So, speaking of that, apart from Ram Mandir, what are the other trends you've seen over the past fortnight in the space, in the misinformation space?
Sure. So apart from Ramanda's issue, it's also the Maldives issue, and also Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra that he
Hmm.
just initiated. So one claim related to it is that China president, it was claimed that China president had thanked Rahul Gandhi for starting the Bharat Jodo Yatra
Hmm.
the Yatra
Yeah.
2.0 from Manipur, instead of starting it from the India occupied Arunachal Pradesh.
Right.
So that was shared widely again. So apart from that, when we talk about the Maldives row, so the edited and morphed
Hmm.
images of the prime minister, and also the morphed tweets. So when you talk about morphed tweets, for example, it was shared that Italy's PM Giorgia Meloni had tweeted saying that she's going to cancel her trip to Maldives in support of India.
Yeah.
So yeah, but again there are no reports or any such tweet in on her profile.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, so lots of takeaways on that front, and also I think we keep talking about AI growing more and more sophisticated, but what is also growing sophisticated is people's usage of these platforms and tools, right? Because, for example, we always say that with AI generated images, there are distortions like there are more fingers than humans normally have, or there are such abnormalities. But even those were avoided with the one of Modi in a scuba suit, because he's in a costume, so it looks very realistic. So yes, like Sushmita said earlier, always watch out and be on the lookout for false information that is coming your way through the various channels of the internet. With that, we come to the end of the update from the fact check team. Thank you, Sushmita, once again. And we will move to the next team in just a moment. Before that, a few quick reminders, the chief of which is that our WhatsApp tip line is a great resource for you to send things to us when in doubt over whether a piece of information you've seen online is real or fake. So store the number, make good use of it. And for those of you just joining in now, memberships are live on our YouTube channel, and you get access to custom emojis and, of course, a priority response to the comments that you leave on our videos and all our YouTube content essentially. So do consider joining. It is a small but significant way for you to show your support for the kind of work that we do here at Factly. And speaking of the work that we do at Factly, we are moving to the second segment of this edition of the Factly Digest, which is the newsroom. And joining me now is Pavitra. Hi, Pavitra.
Right.
So, yeah, Sushmita and I just spoke about Maldives, the India Maldives issue in the last segment. And this directly leads to one of the stories that your team did over the past fortnight. Now, we know that, and for those of you joining for the first time, the newsroom probes the data angle behind a lot of issues. Typically, a lot of issues that are in the news, as India Maldives is right now. So it's not taking sides or sensationalizing, but looking at what data says about a certain issue and doing a deep dive into that. So, in that sense, what was the central question that led you to look into this particular issue of India and Maldives?
Okay, so the issue, I mean, it created a storm in the internet, and people were all discussing like boycott Maldives, like we should all go to Lakshadweep and such things. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, it was very vital back then. So what we thought of is like to explore, like how Indians travel
Yeah.
in the sense. So basically, we looked into the officially available statistics, which is from the Ministry of Tourism. So they have this tourism statistics report. So in that report, they give data on the people who depart from India. It could be for any reason, and those who arrive in India. Like again, it could be for various reasons.
Yeah.
It need not exclusively be of tourism. So we looked into those numbers, and we just wanted to see, like, where Indians prefer to go, and what the trends are with respect to Indians traveling and such things.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what were the main findings that came out of this analysis?
So the first thing that we saw was the how the departures have been from India.
Mm.
So in 1991, like nearly 2 million people like traveled abroad from India, and this more than doubled to 4.4 million in 2000, and now it's almost 27 million, as of 2022. And in fact, in 2020, the number dropped to like 7 million, like in early 2000s
Mm.
because of the pandemic. Like
Yeah.
there were travel restrictions and stuff. And in 2022, like there was this 190% growth, like the sector was recovering remarkably following the pandemic.
Mm.
And the most uh, preferred destination, it's not like the preferred destination, but like the destination where all these Indians went to was UAE and Saudi.
Mm.
And again, UAE, Abu Dhabi, Dubai are all like these international airport hubs where,
Yes. Yes.
I mean, you just have to go there. Like, so again, in these places, it went back to the pre-pandemic levels almost, because of the increasing travel. Again, United Kingdom, it recorded the highest number of Indians
Mm.
landing there since 2011 in 2022, like with almost 1 million people going there again, like for when there's this visa delay and stuff to go to other countries. And then we also saw like how the performance of all these island nations have been, like, Singapore and Thailand, like which are pretty famous for tourism. Like that's a major chunk of their revenue.
Right.
So again, like it has recovered following the pandemic, but still the levels are lower than the pre-pandemic levels. So yeah, and what with respect to Maldives, what we saw was India was the top market for Maldives, you know. And in fact, in 2020, 21, and 22, like Indians constituted the most tourists in that country. And in 2020, like Indians constituted about 11.3%, followed by Russia, another 11%, and also UK, like about 10% of the market share. Again, in 2021, it increased to 22%, and in 2022, it again reduced to like 14% or so. So again, the pandemic, the possible impacts could be like all these delayed weddings, and they had actually simplified their visa process during the pandemic to boost tourism. And yeah, I mean, if you remember, like opening all these social media, you could see like randomly all these celebrities and all these big people posting about it. So I mean, of course, so it was gaining that popularity.
Yes.
And but at the same time, like when Maldives saw this impressive growth, what happened was Singapore and Thailand, where before the pandemic about 15 lakh Indians went, the numbers are like less than 1 lakh now. So that's the difference. Yeah, so these are some of the main findings.
Yeah, very insightful, and definitely go and check out the article on our website factly.in for the full picture. And yeah, speaking of Indians traveling, going to countries, other countries, another story that was in the news but significantly overshadowed by the Ram Mandir and this whole India Maldives issue is of Indians attempting to immigrate to foreign countries illegally through the route of donkey flights. So tell us about the story that you did on this, which was also, of course, over the past fortnight, from the context to analysis to main findings.
Okay, so basically, uh, a flight from India to Nicaragua was halted in France, for suspicion of carrying illegal migrants. And again, so these people were actually, I mean, so what happens is in these donkey routes, people who want to enter US, but they don't have the permits to actually go there.
Yeah.
They tend to take these illegal ways, wherein
Yeah.
they go to some country with like easier restrictions, and from there they just try to cross the border.
Yeah.
Like and crossing the border is also like a risky task because they have to go through forests, or they even risk their lives basically to enter these countries again for good opportunities. That's what they seek. And so this was actually there in that Shah Rukh Khan's recent movie Donkey. Like this is the same topic that they've explored,
Right.
and this Nicaragua flight issue just happened around the same time. So we thought of looking at how many Indians have been apprehended by U.S. officials and related statistics. So that's how we ended up with this story. And we use the statistics from U.S. Customs and Border Protection, and it's there in our data full portal. And in this, the apprehensions under Title 8 and 42 of the US Code have been covered. So basically, both these titles they deal with aliens or people who don't have the legal permits to enter US. And Title 42 it specifically deals with people entering US at the time of pandemics, or when to prevent disease outbreaks. So that was implemented in around 2020 by the Trump government for, I mean, to prevent COVID spread. And in 2023, around May, it was revoked. And so, yeah, so these are the legislations under which people were apprehended. And the data revealed that the number of Indians apprehended has increased manifold over the last decade. So, in fact, in 2009-10, the number was way below 1,000, and it shot to like nearly 1 lakh in 22-23. And in fact, it's not just Indians, but other countries also, like say China, Brazil, Russia, and Mexico also, like all have witnessed this spike at around 2019-20. And I mean, so like though it could have been because of this Title 42 restrictions or the pandemic, even after it was revoked in 23 24 also, the number is pretty high, like whatever data we have so far. And in 2022-23, like these four countries, Honduras, Mexico, Guatemala, and Venezuela, they constituted around half of all those people apprehended.
Mm.
And yeah, so and traditionally, like in US, about 70% of those caught is from the southern border that's shared with Mexico,
Right.
and the remaining around 30% is from the northern border, that's like the longest border shared with Canada. But in the case of Indians, like more and more Indians are being caught in the northern border, like in the recent years, and the gap, like between the share of is also low
Mm.
for India. And like this is in contrast to the international trend. And among those caught, majority of the Indians are single adults, and over the years, family units and also minors are also increasing.
Mm.
Yeah, so these are the trends we saw.
Okay. Again, with this story as well, uh, the link will be provided. It is being provided in the live chat as we speak, and so do visit the website and go through the article for these really interesting insights into how Indians are moving outside the country through the route of donkey flights and other means. All right, with that, we've come to the end of this edition of the Factly Digest. We do not have any questions, but that's completely okay. Do leave your questions for us, your thoughts on our content, on the comments on our videos, and on our posts on social media. We are at Factly India across platforms, and get in touch with us through DMs, the whole works. And we would love to hear from you and provide more of the kind of content that you find useful for yourself. And the next edition will be 2 weeks from now. We will get back to you with the time and the specifics a little closer to the date. But until then, yes, do stay connected through all the means just mentioned. A little earlier, and go visit our website factly.in, read the articles that the newsroom and the fact check team have been putting out, and of course continue to consume our content on YouTube and social media. And if you aren't already, do subscribe to our channel and consider joining memberships. Reach out through all these means, and we hope to see you the next time on the Facty Digest. And of course, in the meantime, through all the work that we put out every day. Thank you for joining, and see you next time.